behind me, 1964 DKW F12 Roadster from 1966. It is a convertible car. The company DKW was Auto Union, and this is the company which would later on become Audi. Audi was one of the companies from which this Auto Union has been formed before the Second World War, and just at some point of time, a bit later on, from the date of this car, they would decide to change the name of the company in Audi, while Audi was one of the company who has formed this Auto Union. They would dig from the past the Audi name and change the name of the whole company. This was a pretty light and not very powerful car. The maximum speed was 130 kilometers per hour. It had only 900 cc, but it was fun to drive. It's a two-stroke engine, which was the way this company made cars. They were not particularly powerful or fast, and also the gas consumption was not the best, but it was a cheap way to run. It was a simple engine, and they were in a position to keep the price of the car pretty low. So you can, for the pretty let's say reasonable money, you could have the convertible at those times, which had a handsome looking. It had a fins and a back. It was also a pretty reliable car and not very expensive to run. It was relatively popular car in a sedan form in Germany. Only 8,000 of those convertibles have been made, and now it's a pretty nice classic.
In a moment we will hear the sound of the engine on this Junior Deluxe. To some it was noisy and rough, but it has a charm. When the car was launched in 1957, it was DKW Junior. This design with the fins at the back was just launched by Chrysler, and it was very modern at the time. When the production started in 1959, it was still modern. But at the time when this convertible, it was called the Roadster, F12 Roadster, has appeared, those fins unfortunately were not in fashion anymore, but DKW didn't have funds to produce a new model, so it had to go like this. We can see those fins at the back on this Junior Deluxe, which was in a production from 61 up to 63, and this was a continuation of the original Junior with the bored engine to 800 cc. This was basically a competition to a Volkswagen Beetle, but more modern by construction. It could seat 4 people with a bigger comfort and also with the bigger luggage space. Also, you could opt for the heater, which was costing 160 Deutschmarks, while the car was costing 4,700 and something. And this key heater could heat the car much faster and much more comfortable than with the Beetle, where it was using the air-cooled engine, and those heaters were always a problem with the Volkswagen Beetle. Now we would see the car from a front. It has the 4 rings of auto union, which would later on continue as the mark of the Audi. I always like those cars. They are somehow neat and beautiful. They are small but have this 50s design, and I like them as a classics today. Light colors in the interior with the wide steering wheel. We can see that at the back there is a sufficient space, let's say, because the seats are very tiny. It could seat 4 people. We have the square speedometer and the gear shift, which is at the column. We can see the model of a bit bigger DKW. It is 1000, but I don't have the one from Junior or F12, but this one is just a little bit bigger. It's made by a German company, Schuko, and you can see a bit, it's a 143 model. Here it is from the back. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and leave the comments below.